under the sun compared to none, where metaphorical milk and honey flow, she travels to Uganda. The royalty she exudes surpasses that of the Kabaka. Surely Wakanda has nothing on the Baganda. By way of Jinja to Kampala, to find a lover there is no other. Kigali ni mbali lakini alifika. Wiriwe. Kinyarwanda now rolls off her tongue like she was born there. She learnt peace there. She's at peace there. Her mind wanders in Tanzania, so kwanza alianzia Mwanza. To Arusha and Dar es Salaam, speaking Swahili and the language of love up the coastline through Tanga Segela. In Mombasa, we finally meet. We hold hands and merry-go-round, glorious around the Victoria. Tell me, does Lake Victoria ever want to be known by her African name? Does Lake Victoria ever want to pause and say she doesn't want to go into the Nile because that will mean leaving everything she has ever known, or more importantly, tell me, does Mount Kilimanjaro ever want to cross the border and come back home?
Awesome! Welcome to the show, Mumbi.
Thank you.
I am so happy. I think one of the poets I have followed their journey closely is you.
Yeah.
From, I don't know, 2016, I think 2017,
Yeah,
thereabouts.
long time ago.
Long time ago. And we all knew Mumbi as a young, polite, soft-spoken who, when she opens her mouth and spews some amazing poetry, you throw everybody off. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
And for your awards, and for CNN, and for DSTV, and for all of that, and for the tours that you have done. It is beautiful.
Thank you.
I think you've taken poetry to a whole different level in this country.
Yeah, which was the plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How was it? Was it intentional? Was there a strategy?
There was no strategy, honestly. I was just doing whatever felt right to me. I knew that there's a reason why I'm writing poetry, and I owe it to myself and my creativity to see how far it can take me.
And it did take you
Yeah.
all the way, I don't know where. But, you know, some of the things that you had to do, you walked into a scene that was very fresh. It was very fresh. There were people already in it trying to raise their voices when it comes to poetry, especially spoken word, and creating, even like the platforms that were there were like zero.
Yeah.
And you went ahead and created your own space.
Yeah.
And created your own events, Mumbi.
Yes, I did. So the thing is that I always say that, like, if what kizuri, it's called kizuri chajiuza.
You know? Kibaya chafanya nini?
Inajitembeza, I think.
Wow. Let me small short story. So Mumbi alikuwa anatoanga poetry za kizungu. Back to back to back to back. Then I think you got tired of people saying you can't speak Swahili.
Yeah.
And then you did a piece in proper Swahili and Sheng. And everybody was just like, okay, sawa, respect. Now we understand. It's okay. So ni kweli kizuri.
Chajiuza. Yes.
Na kibaya chajitembeza.
Yes.
So you kept working hard.
Yeah.
And finding people who felt or had the same desire and passion as you.
Yeah. So I knew there had to be people out there who resonated with what I do, and who want to work with me. And I'm so grateful for the opportunities that I got, like getting calls from like South Africa that we saw your poem on YouTube and we want you to do an advertisement for us. It was so crazy, but then I knew that I have to just keep doing it. If I just keep it to myself, I'll never know how far it could have gone.
That is so true.
Yeah.
People have different ways of presenting or performing their poetry, and you have yours. From day one, it's been a constant. At some point, did you feel like you needed to change to feel or do what other people are doing, because what they were doing or what they're still doing is totally different from what you do?
Yeah, so for me, my performance style, because I know poetry isn't a mainstream art form, and so getting people to listen is always challenge. So my performance style has always been to get people's attention, like from the first line. Like I don't give people the opportunity to write me off.
No.
Yeah, because sometimes you'll listen to a poet and you're like, then you'll cut them off like by the second line.
Yes.
But my performance style was always, even from the beginning, get people invested from the beginning. And then, which is why I write my poetry the way I do. And it's worked for me and I like it. And so I think that's just my...
I think it's your thing and it works.
Yeah.
Unafaa kusikia Wiz, kuna mapieces hapa Mumbi akiamua tunazima stima
Actually, after when she started talking,
yes,
I remembered a certain piece that was trending.
Oh yeah, that one too. Yes,
Yes.
it made it on the EP.
Now that's how I knew this is
This is
her.
the one. And you write pieces on almost everything. Your feelings, your emotion, love, heartbreak, all of that. And you will you will also write poetry that is commissioned, that is not out of mimi nasikianga na feel saizi nifanye. So when it comes to commissioned pieces, what's your process like to create a piece? Say, for example, what you did for what it was called Perfect Projects.
It was PMNCH, the Partnership for Maternal and Newborn Child Health.
Yes.
Yeah, so that was a commissioned piece that I did. It was some organizations, there was UNICEF, there was the UN and PMNCH, and it was a project on women's health, women, children and adolescent health, especially after COVID. Just saying that women didn't have like proper access to healthcare even before the pandemic, especially in marginalized groups. And so even now after the pandemic, it's gotten even worse, and we need to look at the healthcare access that women, children and adolescents have. So it's a lot of research that goes into it. But those poems, I think that poem I wrote it in like a day, because it's also still something I'm passionate about. And it's just things that we see like every day, like, you know, women who don't have proper access to, you know, sanitary products and healthcare. So I'm still passionate about it, and it's a lot of research that goes into it.
This is the piece that got you to CNN.
Yes, that's the one.
Are you ready for it?
We are not ready.
We are not. We can never be. Never born ready. So I thank God someone here was born ready. Are you ready, Mumbi, for that particular piece? Maybe not probably the whole of it. Maybe we can just get somewhere.
Okay. Well, the first part of it
is tea. Okay.
No.
Okay.
I don't. The whole poem. I don't think I remember the whole poem.
Okay, because it was pretty long as well.
Yeah, it was very long, and it's a lot of details and like statistics and
Okay.
But it was a letter to world leaders, just saying that, especially as women, if we're not invited to the table, then it means we're on the menu.
Oh.
Yes.
Ndio tutakulwa.
Yes.
Kama hatuyuko mahali watu wanachagua watakula nini.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so that was an open letter to world leaders, telling them that in your countries you need to look at, are you inviting women to the table when you're deciding policies that affect them?
And you had responses from, you know, leaders from other parts of the world towards that particular poem. Did we get responses, reactions from our own here, 254? KE?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
Actually, after that, I performed at a different forum, which was locally. It was like local leaders were having a forum on women health. And they did that after they saw the poem on CNN. So they're like, we have this talent.
Embarrassment. Anaitwa Mumbi, creator. Libation, before we get to the end of this conversation, please tell us about your new EP.
So Libation is my new EP. It's 5 poems, which the poems that I've written over the years, but I've never released like a project, like a poetry project. I just perform, put out one poem here and there. So I named it Libation because libation is like an offering to a deity or ancestors. And for me, poetry is important because it carries on the tradition of storytelling that our ancestors started, the way they documented their history, their culture through poetry, songs, and storytelling. So this being my debut EP, it was only fitting that this be a libation to my ancestors.
Great.
Yes.
And it has some very nice pieces. Pieces we've had, pieces we can resonate, pieces that we clearly understand. Ama amesikia mahali yako tu, ouch, ouch. And you call it out like it is. Only that we can do it here, but maybe one piece from your EP.
Okay. So this is To the Sun I Might Have One Day.
Amen.
So to the son I might have one day. You're not the first boy who I've had to raise. You're not the first boy who I've had to teach right from wrong, and you are certainly not the first boy who I've had to teach how to approach a woman. See, my job is to ensure that before I send you out into this world that you are right within, and that you know how to respect people from their head to their feet and everything in between. And when you learn how to walk, may you learn to walk with your mother's pride, and may you learn to step with her mother's stride. When you learn how to walk, may you learn how to go the extra mile. When you learn how to talk, may everything that comes out of your mouth be better than silence. May you learn how to hold back and swallow misogynistic jokes, lies. May they rot in your throat so that they never see the light of day. And when you have your first crush, may you be wise enough to know that pulling a girl's hair or trying to fight her are not appropriate ways to tell a girl that you like her. And if I have to promise you one thing, I promise you this. I promise that every day I will take my pen and my paper and I will sketch you in all of my books, and I will open them up to look at you whenever I forget how God looks.
You can get it. Ding, 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 ding.
Inakuanga hivi,
On
check
hivi.
hivi,
Teach me these things. Teach me.
That is so beautiful. And every time I hear you perform that piece, it's like it's new every single time.
Yeah.
Every single time. And I love it. I don't know. Now you've put out a project, the very fast debut EP.
Yes.
Is there pressure? Are we giving you pressure that we want? Because this is me, low key, no pressure, but pressure. What's the plan? This is out. You must be planning out on something probably.
So I think I put it out just because it was long overdue.
Yes, it was.
Like I've been writing and performing for almost 6 years now.
Yes.
And I feel like I needed a project to my name. So I'm working on new work, but I'm also working on writing fiction, like short African fiction stories.
Nice.
Yeah, so I wanted to get the poetry, all the poetry things that I've been doing, put that out, and then now I'm actually working on a book, fiction, yeah.
Oh my goodness, has the project started?
Yes, it started, yes, yeah.
Is it like short, there will be short stories in it?
Yes.
In one book, how many stories are we looking at?
About six stories.
Just you? Or are you collaborating with other writers as well?
I'm looking to collaborate. I haven't collaborated yet with anyone, but especially even not necessarily authors, even musicians and other poets, because at the end of the day, writing, any form of writing, I feel like is poetry, even music. So I would love to collaborate with like a musician to write a short story based on a song or something. Yeah, and just challenge artists to get out of their comfort zone and write in ways that they never thought of writing before.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. That would be a first for many, and I hope they're up for the challenge.
Yes.
Because just seeing that come to fruition will be, you know, out of this world.
Yes.
And I'm wishing you all the very, 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 very best in that. Are you having any event coming up? I know you put together, you know, other poets, rappers, musicians to just, you know, come together and perform. Is that happening anytime soon?
I recently had an event, that was Mumbi and Friends, to celebrate the EP.
Yes.
I wasn't planning on doing another one, but at the end of that show, everyone was asking when is the next one, and it was open mic, and people really love open mic events because everyone wants to perform. platform when there's an opportunity to do that. So I'm working on hosting another one, probably in October or November.
Okay.
So yeah, on my social media, I'll put up the posters.
Social media ni wapi?
At Mumbie Poetry on all platforms.
Okay, great. What happened to Kenyan shilling? Emma, what was it? Was it like shilling or that is we transitioned.
No, Kenyan shilling was before I knew what it is I wanted to do.
Yeah, because I remember that. Was
Yeah.
it that Twitter? Was it?
It was my Tumblr. So
Yes.
in high school, I used to run a Tumblr account, and
Yeah.
on Tumblr, everyone had like an interesting name.
Okay.
So mine was just Kenyan shilling because it was the most creative thing I could think of at the time.
Oh my God, I'm so happy for you. I am praying and hoping for more wins for you, and keep blessing us with your poetry.
Thank you.
EP tunaweza download ama tuipate wapi?
It's on all streaming platforms
Okay.
and on YouTube.
Great.
Yes.
YouTube is still Mumbie Poetry.
Mumbie Poetry, yes.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you for having me.
Wiz, mmekuwa blessed.
Kabisa. After this on YouTube.
On YouTube, mbio sana. So check her out, Mumbie Poetry, on all social media platforms. Check out her poetry. It's out there. It's beautiful. You will thank me. Okay, and her, of course. We're going to take a very short commercial break. We will be right come. We have an amazing, amazing performance coming up. So don't go too far.